night after demonstrators clashed with police at a march against racism in South London. 12 other officers and 41 members of the public were also taken to hospital after being pelted with bricks, bottles and sticks. 6 petrol bombs were seized from one of the protesters. Anti-racist protesters had wanted to march past the headquarters of the British National Party in Welling, but police created an exclusion zone to keep them away. Violence broke out as some marchers tried to break through the police cordon.
The march had gone off largely peacefully until it reached a suburban road leading to the BNP bookshop 3/4 of a mile away. A section of the demonstrators surged forward in an attempt to breach the police lines and gain access to Welling and the BNP. Riot police reinforcements moved in to hold the line. Within minutes it turned into an ugly and violent confrontation. But despite police charges, the minority of rioters at the front held their ground. Mounted officers were deployed as the crossroads became virtually a battlefield. Stewards attempted to restore order. Some marchers tried to sit down protest, but it was soon abandoned in the melee. Marchers at the back of the demonstration were stationary, unaware of what was happening at the front, where someone threw a smoke bomb. A police officer quickly picked it up and threw it into a nearby garden. On the other side of the crossroads, some demonstrators brazenly taunted the police. Then the confrontation settled into a pattern of police charges into the crowd, which were followed by tactical retreats. Police sustained injuries, so too did the marchers, a number of whom were also arrested. Some rioters wore masks and balaclavas to avoid identification. Others at the back of the march just gave up, turned round and went home. 2 hours after the fighting had begun, the marchers finally began heading to a playing field for a rally. An angry police commander showed one of the bricks thrown at his officers. He said the riot proved police were right to reroute the march.
That if this march had been allowed to go past the bookshop, you can see what would have happened in the far more confined spaces.
Mounted police regrouped as the marchers made their way to the rally. Even here, the rioting continued in suburban front gardens as police and side streets were pelted. As the rally wound up, more officers were deployed, though by this stage the disturbances were fizzling out and it became a watching brief as the demonstrators boarded buses for home. John Draper, ITN, South London.
Metropolitan Police Commissioner Paul Condon said tonight the violence had been carefully planned by a sizable minority intent on causing trouble. He said the hypocrisy of the organisers knew no bounds. 11 people have been arrested. More are likely to follow.
They must have known and anticipated exactly what would happen today, and they provided the opportunity for it to happen. And again in London, we've seen a cowardly mob of extremists who turn up with no intention of demonstrating against a cause, but they turn up to cause disorder and violence and damage, and that's what they attempted to do today.